everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today's video, as you can probably tell because I have nothing on my face, we're going to be doing another first impression foundation video, which I'm very excited about. So today we're going to be trying out a new foundation that recently came out to the drugstore. I know it's popping up in some drugstores, and I was able to get my hands on this quite early, but it has been sitting in my drawers waiting for me to try it out, and I'm very excited to because I love the other foundations from CoverGirl that I've tried. So we're going to be testing out the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. You guys have probably seen some other reviews floating around YouTube of this so far, but I thought I would give my 2 cents on how I like this because I do love testing out foundations. I will leave a little card up here for you guys to click to go see all the other ones that I have done so far if you're curious. I've heard nothing but great things about it so far, especially from people like me who do have more normal oily and combination skin. So if you're interested in seeing a first impression, demo, review, and wear test all about this new foundation, then just keep on watching. So as you guys know, before I go into my reviews and my demo, I do like to tell you a little bit about the foundation first. So again, today we're going to be trying out the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. It says it has vitamins and it also has sunscreen, which is probably not going to be very good for flash photography. I picked this up at Walgreens, and when I got it, it was $13.99, so almost $14, which is, I think, very expensive for foundation, especially from the drugstore. So I hope that this is good. If not, I'd rather just pay like $10 more for a high-end foundation that I like than more of a subpar foundation from the drugstore. I have it pulled up on the Ulta website right now just to see what they say about it. On the Ulta website, it's only $11.99. They only have 6 shades, which I think is very annoying and very frustrating. I really dislike the shade range of this foundation. I picked mine up in the color 710 Classic Ivory, and this is the second to lightest shade, and when I tested it on my hand, they had like a little tester in Walgreens. It seemed to be quite dark, but they did not have the 705 in stores, so I had to go with this. So this foundation says that it has a vitamin infused formula with a special antioxidant and vitamin complex. It's a hydrating formula for a beautiful buildable coverage that glides on smoothly for a flawless look. This special antioxidant and vitamin complex plus SPF 20 work together to make your skin look healthy all day. So the benefits say it gives your skin a luminous glow, which I'm a little nervous about because I'm oily, but it also says that it's oil free, and it also says it minimizes the appearance of oily shine, and it has a lightweight formula. So right now the reviews on this are almost 5 stars, but there's only 12 reviews. I've already moisturized my skin, so I'm just going to go on to primer. Today I'm just going to use one all over my face because I want to try this out with 2 different kinds of tools. So I'm going to be using a flat top brush on one side and then my L'Oreal sponge on the other side. So for primer today, I'm trying to scrape out the very last of my Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. It's not going to really control your oils too much. It's not really mattifying. It fills in some of your pores as well, but it's just like a nice like veil to put on top of your skin before you put on your foundation. So now moving on to the foundation, the bottle of it is actually very nice. It is a glass bottle with a clear top, and it does have a pump. I do like the little gold accent here, and you do get 1 fluid ounce, which is a standard size for any foundation. I got it in the color 710 Classic Ivory. From seeing it in just the bottle, it looks like it's going to be a good neutral foundation. Whenever I wear foundation, I'm pretty much the shade light with a neutral undertone in any foundation that I buy. So I'm just going to be doing about 2.5 pumps. I'm going to do 1/2 of my face first, and I'm going to do about a pump of this. I'm going to do like half of what I have on my hand. We're going to see how far this goes. So I'm first going to use a brush. This is a E6 brush from Morphe. It's just a flat top kabuki brush. You can use any brush you want. So I'm just going to be pressing this into my skin at first, and then I'll buff it out. I want to see how much coverage I can get. That shade actually looks pretty spot on. This does have more of a kind of floral fragrancy scent, so it kind of reminds me of a high-end luxury foundation, you know, with those floral fragrances that are in those. But this so far is giving me a nice medium coverage. It's definitely not full. I can still see some of my redness peeking through. I would definitely still say that this does have a medium coverage. I want to see if it's buildable after I kind of do the other side to see how much else we have to cover. But I do think that this is a nice kind of like satin matte. I definitely would powder because it does feel tacky to the touch. But with a brush, it's not too bad. I'm excited to see what it looks like with the sponge. So the sponge I'm going to be using is from L'Oreal. So I'm just going to take the other pump that I have on the back of my hand and apply this with the sponge. So I'm going to take the bottom half, the rounder part, and kind of just pounce this on my skin. So far, I I feel like I'm getting better coverage with the brush, even though it took a little bit longer to blend out. This side definitely has more of like natural feel. It's still more of a medium coverage, but it's like the medium to sheer. It's not like it went on any differently. You're just gonna have to build it up if you want more of a full coverage on the sponge side. The color actually in person looks a little bit pink. My neck is quite yellow and then my chest is more pink, so that's why I always go with a neutral foundation. So I'm hoping that this doesn't oxidize anymore. Let's go back in and see if we can build this up. I'm gonna go in with one more pump, and I'm actually just gonna use the brush for this because I liked the brush a lot better than the sponge. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and pat it on my cheeks. This is where I get a lot of redness. It is building up quite nicely. That was really easy and it doesn't feel heavy. That's definitely one thing that I think I agree with, because I don't feel like I'm really wearing foundation. You can still see some of my pores and my texture on my skin, but I've heard that this wears better throughout the day, so we'll see. So here's what it looks like with about 3.5 pumps of foundation. I love a full coverage finish, so that's why I wanted to just see how it works and kind of layers on top of that first layer. But I do think this layers really nicely and I do like the coverage. The finish is a little bit luminous for my liking, so I will go in and powder. But first I'm going to be putting on my concealer, so I'm just going to be applying some of the Tarte Shape Tape and setting it with my Coty Airspun powder before I powder the rest of my face. So now that I have my concealer and powder on, I will be setting the rest of my face like I mentioned earlier with a powder because I still feel it tacky on my skin. So I'm gonna be going in with the Lancome Absolute powder. I'm using the color Absolute Golden. So I can already tell you that that feels much better on my skin. I think it's going to make a lot of my other powders that I put on top of it a lot easier to blend out for me. But as of right now, I'm really liking this. I'm a little bit nervous about the color because it is turning more pink the longer it's been sitting on my skin. So I'm going to go finish off the rest of my face. I just want to see how everything blends out on top of it and show you all the final looks. So I'll be back in just a little bit. So I am back. I have the rest of my makeup on. I straightened my hair. So it's been about 35-40 minutes so far that I've had this on my face. And the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about right now is just the color. I definitely have noticed it has oxidized, but overall, after I put my powder on and everything else, my face looks flawless. You can still see some of the pores and texture on my skin, but it is not as bad as when I first applied it. I think it's really been settling nice into my skin. I feel like this is going to be a great foundation that's going to look good throughout the day, so I'm hoping that this is going to control my oils like it says it does. The one thing I also love about this is that it is super lightweight like it says it is. I don't feel like I have a lot of foundation on my skin, even though it looks like I have a full coverage beat going on, which I do, but it does not feel like that at all. I want to quickly talk about the tools again, because I think this is a big difference in the coverage you're going to get. With any foundation, whenever you use a sponge, you are going to get a little bit more of a sheer coverage, which a lot of people seem to really like, and sometimes I do really like that, but when I do want a full coverage, I will go in with a brush like this. There's a bunch of different brands that have brushes that are similar to this that have more of a flat top. They also have ones that are a little bit more round or angled to really push the foundation in. It's going to give you more of a full coverage. And other than that, everything else that I put on top of the foundation and my powder, like my bronzer, contour, highlight, you really want to make sure you're going to set this foundation because it did have that tacky finish. So how I like to do my foundation reviews, after the demo portion, I do like to go in every couple hours with you guys and check in. So it is about 11:40 right now. I will do a couple different check-ins today just to show you guys how the foundation is wearing on my skin, how it's looking, how it's holding up with the coverage and the color. So I will be doing a couple different check-ins. I'll do a 6-hour check-in and then hopefully a 12-hour check-in if I can get to that point tonight. So again, it is about 11:40 right now, so I will check back in with you guys in about 6 hours to show you guys how this foundation is wearing. Hi you guys, so I'm back for my first check-in. It is about 6:50. So this foundation has been on my face for about 7 hours now, a little over, and I think this looks a lot better the more you wear this. I think it looks really good. The coloring is awful, like I'm not gonna lie. It's orange on my skin. It was actually starting to oxidize when you guys saw the pink. That was it starting to oxidize on my skin, and it looks really bad in person. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell here. So I want to try this out with a white foundation mixer just to see how it looks, because I love the way it's looking on my skin. I'm not oily, so I am really enjoying this. I think it looks beautiful on my skin though. I think I want to try the lighter shade. I'm just unsure about the undertone right now, so I might order online when it gets back in stock. But again, this is 7 hours and I'm quite impressed, because normally I would get really oily right here, and I don't have any oil on my skin right now, which is awesome. It hasn't broken down. I think the primer I use also is a really great help. I don't think if I used a mattifying primer or even a pore minimizing primer it would have helped, but my pores and my texture don't look that bad, and I think it is because of the foundation. It wears so much nicer throughout the day. When I first put it on, it looked good, but now it looks like even better, which I'm super excited about. So again, I will check back in with you guys in about a couple more hours, let you guys know how I'm liking it, but right now it gets a thumbs up for me. Checking back in, this is going to be my last check-in. It is about 11:47 right now, so this has been on my skin for over 12 hours. Just over 12 hours. As you can see, I'm getting a little greasy up close. This isn't the best lighting, but it is kind of worn off on my chin and around my mouth, which is not unusual because I was eating today. And it is starting to look quite cakey, but everything is still on my cheeks. You can see my bronzer, my blush, my contour, and my highlight are still there. My highlight still looks gorgeous. I do really think I like this product. I think it looks beautiful on the skin the more you wear it. It really only started to break down on my skin at the like 8-9 hour mark. So right after I got off the camera with you guys, a couple hours after that, it just started to break down. I would definitely use a blotting paper with this just because I do feel my skin getting oily, but after 12 hours that is pretty dang good. I don't think it beats my Wet n Wild one, which is a lot cheaper than this one, but I think this is still really good. If you do have more normal to combo skin, I think you're gonna really like this. If you are dry, you may want to stay away from it because it's a little bit more of a semi-matte finish, and if you are super oily, you might get a little bit oilier a little bit early on in the day, but it still looks gorgeous on the skin. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. I want to go to sleep. I'm very tired. I hope you all really liked this video. If you did like it, remember to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to leave me some comments down below to let me know if you've tried this foundation out before and what your thoughts on it were. I love you all so very much, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!